Imagine waking up in someone else's body, but still remembering your first kiss, your grandmother's kitchen, and every detail of your life. Are you still you? Science fiction loves this idea, but here's the real question. How close are we scientifically to make this real? Well, you're in luck, because today we'll explore whether if the path to immortality isn't achieved by preserving our bodies, but by uploading our memories. Hi there, I'm Yvette, a neuroscientist and an author of several neuroscience studies. On this channel I break down how the brain works, decode its mysteries, and explore the deeper questions that they raise about who we are and how science will shape our future. Well, and if this sounds right up your alley, you know what to do. Before we can upload memories, we need to understand what they actually are. And here's where things start to get complicated. When you remember your last vacation, your brain isn't playing back a video file. Instead, it's reactivating a specific pattern of neural connections, what neuroscientists call an engram. These memory traces are scattered across your brain, like a distributed network. Let's say you're remembering biting into a fresh strawberry. The visual memory of its red color is stored in your visual cortex. The taste memory lives in your gustatory cortex. The emotional feeling of summer joy, well, that's in your limbic system. And then your hippocampus acts like a conductor, managing all these scattered pieces into one coherent memory. But here's the thing that keeps neuroscientists up at night. We can locate these memory traces using advanced brain imaging. We can even see them light up when you recall something. In fact, for example, these scientists even identified the Jennifer Aniston neuron. But we still don't fully understand their code. We don't know exactly how the specific pattern of neural firing translates into your unique memory of that strawberry. It's like finding a library full of books written in a language we can only partially read. We know where the books are, we can see when someone's reading them, but the actual content, that's still largely mysterious. And this mystery is just the beginning of why memory uploading is far more complex than science fiction suggests. But even if we may not fully understand how memories are stored, that hasn't actually stopped scientists from trying to move them across animals, across generations, and maybe one day even across machines. The quest to transfer memories actually began in the 1960s with a controversial scientist named James McConnell. He was working with planarian worms, these tiny flatworms that can regenerate their entire body from a fragment, like tapeworms. McConnell trained these worms to respond to light by giving them electric shocks. Then, in what became one of the most shocking experiments in neuroscience history, he literally fed trained worms to untrained ones. Well, the results? The cannibal worms somehow inherited the trained responses. This experiment suggested that memories could have a chemical component that could be transferred. Fast forward to 2018, and UCLA's David Glantzman achieved something remarkable. His team successfully transferred memories between sea snails by injecting RNA from one snail into another. The snails that received the RNA injection suddenly exhibited learned behaviors they had never experienced themselves. This wasn't just about simple reflexes either. The research suggested that memories might be encoded not just in neural connections, but in RNA molecules within our cells. Now, just as a heads up, these studies come with their fair share of controversy, so just so you know, the idea that memories live in RNA is still quite debated. Critics argue that RNA may alter general excitability or stress responses and not carry specific memories. But anyway, perhaps the most mind-bending memory research comes from Susumu Tonegawa's lab at MIT. Using a technique called optogenetics, they can literally switch memories on and off with light. These implanted false memories in mice made them afraid of places that they'd never been, and even switched the emotional content of memories from negative to positive. Even more surprising, some memories can pass between generations without any external transfer. Studies have shown that traumatic experiences can leave epigenetic marks on DNA that gets passed to offspring. Mice whose grandfathers were trained to fear a specific smell will show fear responses to that same smell, even though they've never encountered it. And then there's the cutting edge of brain-computer interfaces. Companies are developing systems that can read neural patterns and translate them into digital signals. We're already seeing memory prosthetics that can help people with brain injuries form new memories. Each of these breakthroughs reveals the same thing. Memories aren't just files, waiting to be copied. They're woven into the very fabric of our biology, in ways we're only beginning to understand. So, if memories are this complex, what would it actually take to upload them for immortality? I think by now we have all seen this recent interview with Peter Thiel.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so, it's always, I don't know, transhumanism is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body.
Peter Thiel is a billionaire in the tech industry, and you've probably encountered his work as he is a co-founder of PayPal. And in this video, he started to talk about one particular term, and that was transhumanism. But what did he actually mean? Humans have always sought immortality. We've tried everything from alchemy to cryonics. But what if the answer isn't preserving our bodies, but preserving our memories? Companies like Neuralink are developing brain-computer interfaces that could theoretically read and record neural activity. Researchers are working on digital twins of brain networks, and memory prosthetics are already helping people with brain injury. But here's where it starts to get interesting. Companies like Clone Robotics are designing bodies that look eerily close to ours, down to the muscle tension and skin elasticity. These could theoretically serve as vessels for uploading your memories and, who knows, maybe consciousness? Imagine it. Your memories, your personality, all transferred into a body that never ages, never gets sick. You could live forever, switching between different robotic bodies like changing clothes. But here's the question, one that haunts philosophers and neuroscientists alike. If we uploaded your memories perfectly, would that copy be you living forever? Or just a copy that thinks it's you? Think about it this way. If I made an exact duplicate of you right now, molecule by molecule, with your memories intact, which one would be the real you? The original or the copy? And if the original died in the transfer process, would you have achieved immortality, or just creating a very convincing imposter? This isn't just a philosophical speculation anymore. As our technology advances, we're going to have to answer these questions. The closer we get to actually transferring memories, the more we realize we're not just copying data, we're confronting the deepest questions about consciousness and what makes you, you. So here's what memory transfer research reveals. Our memories aren't simple data files sitting on a biological hard drive. They're living, breathing chemical processes. They exist in the spaces between neurons, in the RNA molecules that carry genetic instructions, even in the epigenetic marks that can pass between generations. The frontier of memory technology isn't just about enhancement or treating disease, though those applications are quite important. It's about redefining what makes us us. Even if we could perfectly preserve every synapse, every quantum state of your brain, we'd still face the ultimate question, and that is, would uploading your consciousness grant you immortality? Or would you simply die with a copy of you surviving? And now that we're here, what do you think? If you could upload your memories and live forever in a robotic body, would you still be you?